2024 has been quite the banner year for aviation, marked by landmark growth and success. However, 2024 has also been quite a negative year for aviation safety, with an unusually large number of high-profile accidents. In this video, we will cover all major accidents that occurred this year. On January 2nd, a Japan Airlines A350 and the Japanese Coast Guard Dash A300 collided at Tokyo's Haneda Airport. The A350 was coming into land when the Coast Guard aircraft wrongfully entered the runway. All 379 passengers and crew on board the A350 survived. 5 out of 6 people on board the Coast Guard aircraft were killed. Both aircraft were completely consumed by fire. On January 5th, minutes after departure from Portland, an improperly installed door plug on an Alaska Airlines 737 MAX 9 blows out, causing a massive decompression. The aircraft returns safely to Portland, and everyone on board survives. On January 24th, a Russian Air Force Ilyushin Il-76 transport aircraft carrying 65 Ukrainian prisoners of war crashed in Russia's Belgorod Oblast near the Ukrainian border. The exact cause of the crash is unclear, but it was reportedly shot down. Everyone on board was killed. On February 18th, an Air Serbia E-195 overran the runway while taking off from Belgrade after the pilots aligned the aircraft up with the runway prematurely. The aircraft struck the runway's approach lights and the ILS system. It was able to get in the air and returned safely to the airport. Everyone survived, and the aircraft suffered serious damage. On March 11th, a LATAM Boeing 787 suffered an upset while flying from Sydney to Auckland. The aircraft nosedived 300 feet, causing people and objects to go flying into the ceiling. The flight landed safely in Auckland. 50 out of 272 people on board were injured. The cause of the incident is still under investigation. On May 21st, a Singapore Airlines 777, on its way from London to Singapore, encountered severe turbulence while cruising at 37,000 feet. Unbuckled passengers and objects went flying into the ceiling, causing severe damage to the aircraft. The plane diverted to Bangkok. 1 person was killed and 104 were injured. On July 24th, a Saurya Airlines CRJ-200 crashed just seconds after takeoff from Kathmandu in Nepal. The aircraft rolled to the right before ending up in a steep right bank. The aircraft's right wing then hit the ground, exploding into flames. 18 out of 19 occupants on board were killed. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. On August 9th, a Voepass ATR-72 crashed outside of Brazil's capital city of Sao Paulo. The aircraft had begun its descent into its destination airport when it entered a flat spin and crashed into a neighborhood. The cause of the crash is still under investigation, but icing is suspected to have played a role. All 62 occupants on board the aircraft were killed. On November 9th, a total cargo 737 freighter suffered an in-flight fire while on approach into Sao Paulo. The aircraft landed safely, and both pilots were able to evacuate unharmed before the aircraft was consumed by fire. The cause of the incident is still under investigation. On November 25th, a DHL 737 freighter operated by Swiftair crashed while on final approach into Vilnius, Lithuania. The aircraft was less than a mile from the airport when it suddenly rolled right and crashed into a house. 1 of the 4 occupants on board the aircraft was killed. The accident is still under investigation. On December 25th, an Azerbaijan Airlines E-190 crashed while attempting to make an emergency landing in Kazakhstan. The aircraft, en route from Baku, Azerbaijan, to Grozny in Chechnya, Russia, was likely hit by a Russian missile while attempting to land at its destination airport in bad weather, causing a control failure. The aircraft was forced to divert to Akdal, Kazakhstan, where, when attempting to line up with the runway for landing, the aircraft pitched down and crashed. Out of 67 occupants on board, 38 were killed. On December 29th, a Jeju Air Boeing 737 crashed after overrunning the runway at Muan International Airport in South Korea. The aircraft, while on final approach following a flight from Bangkok, Thailand, suffered a landing gear failure and the failure of its number 2 engine. The aircraft then made an emergency landing where it overran the runway at high speed and slammed into a concrete wall at the end of the runway, causing a massive explosion and completely destroying the aircraft. Out of 181 occupants on board, 179 were killed. The cause of the accident is still under investigation, although it's suspected to be a bird strike. The accident is the deadliest ever to occur on South Korean soil and is the deadliest accident of the year. As you've seen, 2024 hasn't been a great year for aviation safety. This video covered all of the major accidents that have made headlines this year, with there still being many lesser known accidents that weren't covered in this video. As tragic as these accidents are, they will serve as lessons for the industry to learn from in order to make flying much safer in the future.